in
She
shock
is.
that child's face on
I
camera,
know.
knowing full well she's bringing harm to her and her family. She did the crime. What she's doing is, oh, well, this is my child now. Just imagine, worst case scenario, someone wants to get back at her. Trigger warning, guys. Someone wants to get back at her because of that crime she committed, and
Her
you know,
children are there. And I think this is what Queen and I have said all along. There was one video that she posted that she has a tendency, and the Queen will back me in this. She will post when she's intoxicated. She will post the most vile and disgusting content you can imagine. It's either
yeah,
against myself, it's against Queen, or it's against somebody, and then she'll quickly remove it when she sobers up. We have the video where she is incredibly intoxicated, sat in a bed, screaming and shouting, giving out her full address when her children are at home, screaming, come and basically come to my home. The last person that came lost their teeth. And again, the teeth comment relates to myself. I lost all mine during DV. But again, she is giving out her own address. Now, she has children at that property. Now, Queen and I have never, ever, ever said anything against her children. You know, if anything, we fear for their safety. Yet in
I think
return,
as well, it's worth pointing out that, she says that she's received death threats for 8 years. Nobody in their right mind receiving death threats would post their location daily, would put their kids on social media. It just isn't reflective because it's not happening. I think a lot of us on here have to consider safety and how we post and a lot of things, and we have a lot more in place, and we're not receiving death threats. So it's bizarre for me to see her making those claims whilst putting her loved ones at risk because she's doing it.
yeah.
and I
Sorry,
think
guys,
obviously
my phone's on
Queen,
charge.
no, not at all. Queen and myself have been accused multiple daily times. She claims she is the victim and we are stalking her. Now, I can categorically tell you the Queen and I have never once sent her a message. We've never replied to a text message. We've never replied to a disgusting, vile. The messages we receive are, I mean, I couldn't even put them on TikTok. I would severely receive a restriction. We have never, but she sits there and says, we are sending her emails. We have contacted, well, what else have we done? We phoned this person, we've done that. I have never once responded to her, and I can assure you the messages she puts that both the Queen and I send to her, but it's just beggars belief, isn't it? She actually comments on her own TikToks and then makes a post replying to herself. I mean, honestly, I'm bipolar and post-traumatic stress disorder, and you'd think I was the crazy one. Like, this woman absolutely dumbfounds anything that's in a psychology book.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is the thing. She's very covert with her abuse. It's very constant. She's very patterned and very ritualed. But again, what's really quite interesting is when you look at the different messages sent to different people, they're all pretty much the same. It's the same level of abuse. It's similar topics. It's the same writing style, has the same error in all of them. And I think really it's interesting to look. So, for example, there is an email put online that I'm supposed to have written to her. I haven't written it, but it's and she has written it herself. It has her tell. So it's very abusive about her relationship. And it's almost like she uses this to covertly abuse her partner. So by sort of saying, look, this is the abuse I'm getting. They're saying you never take me out. They're saying this, they're saying that. And it's the covert abuse this woman uses is just everywhere. And I think this is how we need to talk about covert abuse more, because it can go missed. If you're a victim of Lucy's and you get a dog whistle, you'll know. But the audience might not realize that that's a really passive aggressive moment that just happened. And I think this is how she pulls people in, because she's just a very big covert abuser and an overt abuser. And it's never ending, is it?
No.
Can I just say, guys, as well, quickly, what I have noticed of all these different clips, the screen recordings and the behaviour, obviously we all know when we have some juice, it can make us a little bit like, up and down anyway, alcohol. But what I have noticed is her behaviour changes. So 1 minute she's acting all very posh and, you know, she's high class. Then she's turning straight away in that video to, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
But
And
that's because of Lucifer.
yeah,
This
well,
is
I
her
know
mask
that.
slip, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it now, but the fact that she can change from one person to the next, but then what I have noticed the last 24 hours, if you look at the last video she's put, it's been, oh, well, they've got a personality disorder. So now we're the bad ones. And apparently, when I called her out on my live the other day, which most of you've witnessed yourselves, it's already out there, you've seen the video, which, by the way, she reported before and got it took down this morning. But it is on my backup account and everyone else has shared it. But she admitted to that crime like it was the norm. But the fact for me was she's gone on her TikTok and gone, oh, well, Queen Bee, yeah, she was so angry and she was frothing from the mouth. And her boyfriend, well, he looks like a Yeti. And so, hang on. Once again, why? Because he's 6 foot tall. Do you know, she's got to think about
She does.
people. And for
She
me,
does.
well, this is it. I sat there and thought, right. So I've analysed her now, and I'm going to be honest with you, and this is how some of yous can just keep going at her. I mean, if you want to, because I told you I'm not going to be her victim. I'm not going to be no one's victim on this app, because like I say, I come on here for a reason, because I am a real inspiration. I want to help people, and basically I'm a grown-ass woman who's learned to grow up and do things appropriately. With her, she's just like, she's in a fantasy world, and unfortunately that is, you know, what some mentally ill patients can be like, especially when they've got a narcissistic psychosis disorder. Now, I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm not a mental health, you know, practitioner. I have a lot of awareness, which I've got my qualifications in, and also I can support people with mental health. I just can't diagnose, but from the things that I have learned and from my own person, I have EUPD. So when she's talking about EUPD and she's putting it down and talking about complex PTSD, it's like she's got some, you know, information from Google and she's tried to add her own big words to it. But then when people challenge her in the comments, she doesn't know the meanings. And then when you call her out about it, she'll start scratching her chin. Now, I want you to look very closely at the body language. She'll scratch her chin and she'll get very agitated. She looks out of the window or whatever's there in front of her, and she'll just look away and she'll go silent for a minute. And then what she's doing while she's going silent, she's thinking of what can she do next to try and reel some views in or get some sympathy. And before you know it, she's getting someone else's story. And it seems to be matching up. Now, I said something the other day about my mum, which you all know about my mum's story, but now she's going on about her mum not being here no more. So then I went back at her and I said, well, you're disrespecting your mother, because not only are you sat in her flat that she's left behind for you, but you're disrespecting her. Now, what's
so much,
daughter? She's a vile person, but I just want you to take note of them. The newspaper says she's got a dangerous persona online. Just look very closely, guys, at the body language. Look at how she acts. When you challenge her, she scratches the chin. She's looking another way. She's not directly looking at you in the camera, and she's not saying, you know, the answers to your questions. She's not directly giving it to you. She's trying to find justifications for everything.
Okie dokie, Queen. Queen is going to leave us. Before Don't FUCK with Queen leaves, Queen, can you just put a load of hearts in the comments so everybody can please follow you? Because if Lucifer manages to get my stalked on TikTok account bananaed yet again, at least people can follow you and keep up to date until I get another account up and running. So if Queen could just put some love hearts in the comments, and if you guys could please go and give her a follow.
Thank you for joining as well, Queen. Sending you loads of love, darling.
Nick, my lovely, I'm going to bring you in because, again, Nick has been a huge supporter and a friend to myself for the last, I would say, 3 months. I'm not I think Nick and I met through Don't FUCK with Queens.
Yeah,
and
it was.
again, I am truly thankful for your support. So again, a huge personal, heartfelt thank you for all your continued support to myself.
Hiya, Nick.
Hi.
And again, Nick, I suppose I would, you know, how did we meet? How did you get involved in this? Any thoughts on tonight's live?
Well, I kind of got brought into this because Lucy was presenting herself as a life coach. So I'd obviously studied as a life coach, and it became apparent to me that she wasn't following regulations, she wasn't following rules. Although it's unregulated, there's still certain procedures that you must follow. So Lucy never does any contracts, she never does any intake forms, she doesn't have insurance, she doesn't have, I mean, if you're keeping people's files, you have to register to keep those people's files as part of the Confidentiality Act, and that gives you permission to store them for a set period of time. She doesn't have any of that in place. So I ended up speaking to Laura about how life coaching works and what the difference it was to counselling, and the difference between counselling and coaching. Obviously, you know, counselling is very regulated and you have to be registered and everything else. So, but Lucy herself really doesn't claim she is a life coach, although she coaches, which is a bit bizarre because it all falls under the same category, whether you're coaching people for narc abuse, or whether you're coaching people for life or love, or etc., etc. It all falls under the category of life coaching, but she refuses to take that title. Also, she shouldn't really be practicing as a life coach because if you are coaching vulnerable people, you have to have a DBS or a CBR check, and she'd never pass that. And all the qualifications she claims to have are actually irrelevant for what she is coaching on. And she lies about most of them as well. So, you know, most of her qualifications don't actually really exist.
And again, I think we can all agree the only topic she can ever discuss is narcissism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can she be so knowledgeable about narcissism but not have any self-awareness at all, that every word she speaks, it's like she's looking in a mirror describing herself, Nick? How does that work?
Because she's mainly reading things off Google. For example, she thought the TM5 was actually a checklist until one of the queens presented to her that actually the DM5 wasn't a checklist to diagnose people. It's actually a manual which describes all the personality disorders and etc., etc. She mainly gets her information from other people on TikTok, on Instagram. She kind of copies and mimics their content and presents it as her own. She also likes to change it. So if she doesn't agree with something, she'll change it. And it's almost like she creates her own theory on things. It's like she doesn't understand what a dark empath is, but she has her own theory on it. She actually doesn't know what an empath is, which is quite funny. I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but she reckons it's a super powerful, unnatural human being. But we all know that she has no empathy anyway. She claims that she has all this knowledge and all this understanding, and actually she doesn't. A lot of it is just mimicked. A lot of it is just taken from textbooks. It's taken off the web. It's taken from other content creators, and she just uses it and changes it to her own narrative, which is very dangerous. I mean, I have seen her coach women, and she has told them when they've been in an abusive relationship, and she has turned around and said to that woman, don't let that child see their dad. So she is promoting parent alienation. She was like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It'll get sorted out in 6 months' time. Well, what about the mental health impact on that child that's going to have on that child? Whether it's now or in the present, it's going to have an impact on that child because it creates parent alienation. And I do appreciate women have been through domestic violence, but there are ways that a child can still see both parents in a controlled way. But she doesn't promote that at all.
I think, Nick, picking up on your DV, I think what really got to me as a survivor of DV was the advice she gave. I really tend to not respond to her much, but the one thing I needed to respond to, and you'll know I actually made a post on my own TikTok about, was the advice she gave to somebody about leaving a severe DV relationship. And her advice was just go no contact and
Yeah.
leave. Now, somebody who has advocated for domestic violence for many years, as I say, I have a very long time career within the NHS, which most people won't know about, paid and unpaid. My qualifications are very secret. There's no need for me to bring them to TikTok, and Lisa Fry, she'll be very surprised when she realises what my career was. Her advice was go no contact and just leave.
Yeah.
Now, the most dangerous time for anybody, man or woman, to leave a toxic, violent relationship is upon leaving and the time after leaving. And her advice was buy my book and leave. Now, can you imagine if your perpetrator took a day off work, didn't work, was at home, and that book arrived through the door? How
Yep.
to leave your abuser. I think
Well,
that's
if
the
the
only
husband or the
time
partner
I've.
found it, then
Yep.
they're getting a beating, aren't they?
And it is the victim's fault. She said many times that abuse victims are pretending to be empaths. Your legs are akimbo. You deserve everything you get, was her words.
Well, she actually knocked one woman for staying in a relationship where she had suffered DV, and she said that she was stupid and it was her own fault.
And
That
that's
she
one of
was
the things
in
she
that
messaged my
relationship.
daughter. It's one of the things she messaged my Nikita, Nick, as I call her, was my children are FUC kid up in the head because your mother stayed in a DV marriage. That was the exact words she spoke to my own daughter. My daughter's now 25. I left when she was 8 years old, but she reached out to my daughter. She found my real name via whatever methods, found out who my children were. Thankfully, the child that she messaged was over the age of 18, and the exact words were, if your mother does not shut her effing mouth and stop revealing my true identity, not only am I going to send her coaching voice notes onto your father, because he's about the only one that can give her a good kicking and she'll deserve it, I'm going to send them to you so you know what a bastard of a father you have and what he did to your mother. You're also a FUC kid in the head because your mother allowed you to stay in an abusive household. I stayed with their father for 11 years because I was terrified to leave. I was 17, he was 27, and 11 years later I did eventually leave with the help from the professionals, the mental health services. I would later be diagnosed with bipolar and post-traumatic stress disorder, which to this day you will often hear her talk about on her own lives. I lost all my teeth. I have 3 great big fractures in my jaw. She will often mock my body image because I suffered a 17-year severe eating problem. That was my self-control without going too much into trigger words. To this day on TikTok, you see her mention me, the positivity queen. She's revealed my real identity, i.e. my full name, which I've never brought to TikTok. The area in which I live. She continuously calls my children vicious, vile, disgusting names. My 3 youngest children are 13, 14 and 15, yet she states they all have personality disorders. All 6 of my children are on TikTok. They have all witnessed this, and it's so difficult, Nick. You're in the WhatsApp group
Difficult,
with me.
and
We've become firm friends, and you see the damage that it does to me behind
I've
the
seen
scenes.
the damage it does to you, and you know, I mean, you're at shielding. You know, you don't often let people know what you're going through, but the people that are close to you, they can see it. I mean, you're very good at putting up that front like nothing's wrong. But you are amazing and strong, and you know, I've seen how it's torn you down and everything else, and you know, and let's say the people that aren't so much involved, it even affects them so much. I mean, he is so dangerous. Lucy is so dangerous. And touching on what Queen Positivity's just said, where she's advising women to do this and do that and go no contact, when actually services, they recommend you keep a line of contact. 1, so that they can track it. 2, so you've got evidence. And 3, you know where your perpetrator is. You know, you've got that line of contact. If you don't have that line of contact, you're living in fear constantly because you don't know when they're going to turn up, when the phone's going to ring, when the door's going to ring, you know, so they do kind of recommend that. The other flip side of things is she's destroying relationships as well, because some people are asking for advice from her, and she's going, oh, well, you're living with a narcissist. Well, just because they said they didn't like their dinner. You know, so she's giving out this advice, and then people are doubting their own goddamn relationships, you know, because of the crap advice she's given them and the label she's giving people. You know, like the Queen of Positives just said, she's diagnosing people. Everybody is a narcissist. You know, there's genuine people that are asking for help and advice, and she's either calling them a narcissist or she's saying you're living with a narcissist without even knowing these people. I mean, she's destroying people constantly. Yes, Nisha, it is paid coaching. She does charge for her services. But the only contact you get with her is on the phone.
I was her client and she was actually my coach. That's how I came into contact with Lucifer. She actually coached me and then would use my coaching session, which I believe to be fully confidential, to not only blackmail me, but also my eldest daughter. Donna, thanks for joining, my lovely. Donna is actually a friend of mine, online and in real life. Donna actually travels 6 hours to come and visit me just to give me a hug after all this drama. Donna will tell you her involvement within this, but what I can say is Donna is in witness protection. Donna was a member of my WhatsApp group, which I touched briefly on earlier, where Lucifer sent them all in. They then leaked the phone numbers of all my group members, and Donna was sadly one that received a phone call. I will let Donna explain how she came about perhaps finding me, her involvement within the drama. Is that okay, Donna?
Yeah, that's fine. So I came on TikTok while I was with the abuser, but I didn't go on very much. Once I managed to escape, which is a year ago, I came across the no contact coach. I very nearly went to her. Luckily, I found Emma. I joined one of Emma's lives to ask her a question because I was actually going up to court in October. From then, we became really good friends. I've been with Emma from day one of all this starting. If it wasn't for Emma and other people, I wouldn't be here now, and that is the honest truth. She's been my absolute rock. She's just, whenever I'm down, Emma's there to pick me up. Like she said, I'm in police protection. I'm actually in hiding because I'm back in court in August with my abuser / narc. I was in a hotel for 9 months, and one day I was in a very low place anywhere, and my phone went off, and I answered it, and it was basically, "Hi, is this Donna?" I'm like, "Yeah, who's this?" She went, "It's Lisa." I went, "How the hell have you got my number?" "I've got a mole in your group. Can I ask why you're a bully and why you're in this WhatsApp group calling me?" It was a 30-second phone call. She was as calm as anything, which really confused me. And I just turned around and said, "Don't ever phone me again." And I put the phone down on her. I immediately went to the WhatsApp group and put her number in and said, "Please be careful." What I didn't realise is she'd already been on the phone to other people by then. Emma feels incredibly guilty about this. It's not Emma's fault. It's the beast's fault for all this. I will support everybody and anybody when it comes to that woman, or anyone who's been through DV or SA or anything. I went through the lot with my ex. And like I say, if it wasn't for Emma and Nick and Ange and the other people who have actually had my back this last year, I wouldn't be here. And for people like Lucy to blame me because I stayed with that man for 16 years because I was too scared to walk away. It hurts because she could actually make people unalive themselves with the stuff that she actually says to people. She's threatened to. I've been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and CPTSD. Apparently, I'm benefit fraud, and she's going to phone the benefits on me. Go ahead. I've got nothing to hide. I am. It hurts me seeing Emma hurt. And yeah, I can't even express what I want to say about the woman on here because I will get bananaed. I really will. But all I will say is the Queen is a queen, and I'll stand by her every single day of the week.
Oh, bless you. And Donna, do you know what? Thank you for coming on tonight as well and telling your side, because obviously you're a victim. You don't deserve this as well. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, you are a survivor. At the same time, for me, I'm worried that the fact that you're in, you know, police protection and she's still doing her thing. That concerns me, that it really does. And I'm just going to tell you now, if you feel like you haven't got enough support within services or even enough justice, you know, and the same goes to you as well, Positivity Queen, any of you, if you need pointing in the right direction for the right justice, then please just let me know and I'll give you the services that I've got. You know, obviously it's the justice system, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, you feel like you still need support and you're not happy with the fact that you're still feeling the way you are because of this woman, then just let me know and I'll give you the services that you need to help you, because it's not fair that your life is restricted because of her. But all because she wants to sit there and feel in control. She's controlling you right now because you're in police protection and you're isolated.
This is what annoys me, and this is Emma's helped me a lot to understand this, because obviously being in police protection and being in the hotel, I had to ask permission to stay at my friend's house. I had to ask permission to go and visit my daughter, who is 4.5 hours away, because it's actually in the area that he is in. Where I am, there's a big concert. Now, I've been told if he comes to this concert, me and my friend who live in this area have got to stay in their houses so we don't bump into him and antagonise him. He's just come back from a cruise for a week, but yet I'm restricted to do anything. And I completely understand where Emma's coming from when she says she's scared to do live, she's scared to do this. He's took so much off me. He's not. I will refuse to come off social media. I really will. Social media, this TikTok, and like I said, meeting Emma has saved my life. And I refuse to come off TikTok. And it hurts hearing Emma saying that she's scared because she wants to protect us. She wants to protect us when she should be protecting herself as well. We'll protect her until the day we die because we love her to pieces. But
definitely, and she's got me on her side now as well. I've told her that.
It really hurts because she means the world to all of us, and she is an inspiration to so many people. It's unbelievable. She doesn't realise how much she's loved.
Ah, big up Positivity Queen. She is amazing and she is an inspiration, but so are you as well, Donna. So I don't want you to dismiss yourself there, because you're amazing too. Because look at your situation. You're still sat here. Do you know what? You are a true survivor as well, because you sat here telling your story. And every story that we tell, and every victim story as well that you tell, you're helping another person. And that's why it's important we get this out there. We get her out there. And as well, Nick, hello, my lovely. Coming back to what you said earlier on about the qualification side of things, the last 48 hours, I know I've triggered her. So literally now she's coming back on her page.
Right, guys, I'm just going to mute because you can just have to. The tears are streaming, so I'm going to mute while you go to Nick. I just wanted to accept. Thank you, but I will mute because it is incredibly emotional. And my job here is to protect other women, and unfortunately, sometimes I have to remain silent on TikTok because other people protection means so much more to me.
Let me see some pink hearts, guys. Drop some pink hearts. So, as I said before, just going back to a qualification side of things, I have called her out a few times about what qualifications she got. I've tried to tell her none of them will be valid. Whatever she had before the crime she committed, it would have been valid back then. But when she committed the crime, that's it. Those papers may as well go in a bin because they're worth nothing no more. Now she's starting to do some reactions on her post. Now, one interesting thing that she taught me the other day, on my live, when I called her out, I got my qualifications out, my certificates, and I literally put them in the camera like that, and I went, what do you see there? And I was trying to show the holographic stamp and the real colleges and things they've come from. Do you know what she turned around and said? And she taught me something, but I just wanted to ask you, does this sum up to you a little bit about mental health? She said to me, I bought my certificates off Amazon. Now, do you know these supposedly coaching certificates or whatever she's claiming she's got? Is that what she did and now she's trying to reflect it onto somebody else, do you think, Nick? Are you there, Nick?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, she doesn't claim that, she doesn't believe in coaching certificates. And the reason for this is her argument is that you can pick up a coaching certificate either free online, you can download it from Google, you can buy it on Etsy, or she says you pay £30 for a coaching course. But what she's forgetting is that whether it's £30 or £300 or £400 for a coaching course, coaching is still unregulated. But a coaching course will still give you the tools on how to talk to people. And the other bit she's getting wrong is coaching is meant to uplift people.
Yeah.
It's meant to help them in the here and now to help them better their future. And that's the bit she's kind of missing. And unless you take those coaching courses, you won't know that. But she just does not believe in them. Her qualifications, I believe, are travel and tourism. She reckons she has one in childcare, which was done so many years ago, which would be outdated now anyway. And as you know, and I know, and other people know who work with people with mental health, you have to keep updating. Theories change constantly all the time. So you have to keep updated with them. For example, BPD is now called EUPD, and these are things like this that she doesn't even know.
I know that because she actually replied back in one of her videos. EUPD, they call it now. How did I not know that? EUPD.
This is what I'm saying. She doesn't keep up with her education, should I say?
Yeah.
She just feels that her knowledge is enough, and that's it. And what she says is the truth, and that's it. She's very delusional like that. And the other pattern I've noticed in her kind of behaviour is if she wants to stalk you and if she wants to get at you, she will let it known.
Yes.
But sometimes she will also talk in riddles. So a couple of months ago, I got a fake account message on my account, and it was basically her telling me that she knew where I lived. She knew what area I lived in. She knew my full name, and she kind of put it into a story.
Wow.
It was really bizarre and really freaky, but we all managed to decode it. And I'm not going to lie, it did freak me out a little bit. I think it would anybody. But yeah, she just loves stuff like that. She loves the intimidation, the manipulation, you know.
I feel like she's committed the crimes as well to create stories.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
she's edited the stories, she's put what she's wanted in the stories.
Yeah.
But then now what scares me is she going to come up with another story in the future because these little stories are not making it big? Is she going to do a big story and then we're going to have a big crime on our hands? Do you know what? Is it going to go from the minor, you know, to the most severe? And this is what now us together coming on here spreading that awareness is going to prevent the next incident and the next storybook being created. Because guys, believe it or not, there is movies, right? I know we watch films all the time and some of them are factual, some of them, you know, are fictional, and there's a lot of true story movies that are out there now. And her behavior, actually, the way she looks, the way she acts, she reminds me of one of those true story films that you see on true movies, you know, on your Skybox or something. I love my crime documentaries.
Yeah.
But she reminds me of one of them people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, she is the type of person who has like 1,000 different personalities that you expect to be the psycho in the movie.
Definitely.
You know, and that's the character she portrays. And you know, this is why she comes across so good at manipulation and gaslighting. And this is what she's doing to her followers. She's making out that she's a professional person. She even puts on the voice.
Yeah.
She represents herself quite well in the beginning. But if you constantly watch her, you'll see the flaws, and you'll see the slips, and you'll see the mask slip, and you'll see the vile language and the way she puts people down.
Oh, yeah.
Against people. I mean, personally, as a coach, it should be the opposite. You should be uplifting people. You shouldn't be judging people. You should be empowering other people. You know, you shouldn't be degrading them because they haven't got a job or because they're stuck on benefits at the moment or because they've got a disability. You shouldn't be diagnosing people and, you know, telling this person they've got this and they've got that. But, you know, half the time she doesn't even know what any of these mental illnesses are. You know, it's...
Thanks, Donna. Thanks, darling. Thank you, Queen. Honestly, do you know what? I'm just gobsmacked that she calls herself a female and a mother. You know, for me, it's quite scary the fact that she's supposed to be a mother. She's supposed to have that nurturing side to her. And she's out there hurting other people's children. It's, yeah, very scary. And yet social care thing, oh yeah, we'll just leave the kids with her, especially when one's vulnerable. To me, I think, you know, I even said to the Scottish Social Services yesterday, I did say to him, if you do not pursue this, I will be taking you to a complaint panel as a service, because we've got video footage on here, and I can tell you now in my area where I live, if I was to have that footage of somebody locally, which believe it or not, we haven't got many women like Lucy, you know, not everywhere, that's all I'm trying to say. Just like we haven't got many, you know, much men. Men sometimes think it's just them, but it's not. It's women, men, and even young people now. Crimes are being committed by younger generations. So, you know, it is.
Do you know what it is though, Queen Bee? I think what I struggle with as a mum to 6, granny to 3, and I'm also the victim of child SA. It was by a male physically, but his wife knew what was happening. How can women do this? I think that's what I struggle with. I think that I'm still struggling with it 5 months later. How can a woman do this? How can a mother do this? How, you know, the moment you have that baby laid in your arms, this overwhelming sense of just, you would, you know, lay down your life for your child. How? This boy that she committed this heinous act towards was her friend's son. She had a son the same age. None of it still makes sense to me, and I think I really struggle with the female child SO. And I understand women can be just, you know, are just as evil as the male perpetrator, but I think, I don't know about you, obviously, it's the woman's side of it for me. I think I really, really struggle.
Thank you, Donna. And us women together as well, this is what else we're doing. We're not just spreading awareness on the crimes of what she's done and aware, making you aware about her. At the same time, we're letting yous know that this woman is not going to pull at our heartstrings. We're not going to sit here and justify what she's done because she's a female. So that is what I've had to say the last few days. Thank you, lovely. Because people are like, well, why do you keep giving her your attention? No, it's not that we're giving her our attention. We're trying to get your attention by getting her out there so you can check your children's devices, check your children's accounts, make sure her picture, her account's not lurking. And because she's so known for this dangerous persona setting up fake accounts, you don't know if she could be using a fake account as well. So now what we're all trying to do as mums, adults and a community as well that support one another and want to keep somewhere safe, which is TikTok. Literally, we're trying to say, look, families and parents, this is what we've got. Whilst you're watching the big creators with the silly petty arguments, can we just come away from there for 5 minutes, take a look at what's going on in the background? So we're all guilty of watching EQ and everybody's little, dramas. We are. But while sometimes we get a bit too obsessed with him watching those big creators, in the background we've got these criminals and they're sliding in and they think that no one's noticing them, and that's exactly what happened with her when I come across her. So everyone's too busy watching what was going on with EQ and Pearl and all that last week or the week before it was now. I'm sat there thinking, do you know what, I've just had enough of all that now. They need to just get on with it. Next minute I come on to Lucy and someone said to her, why have you been into trouble? And she just come out of it like, well, I've done this, and it was like, I was sat there, and yes, I was triggered, guys, because everyone, you will find out a little bit more about me on here, but everyone who's followed me on my original account, you all know these things are close to my heart because I'm a survivor. My mum is no longer here today because not only before she unalived herself, but she was SA 2 weeks beforehand, and the police failed to get her any justice and keep her safe. So she felt so unsafe that she no longer wanted to be, a mother and a mother anymore. So this is what I mean, guys. When I come across...
And again, Queen Bee, you have been through that. My children, I mean, I've already stated their ages. I'm not going to keep repeating it, but 13, 14, 15, 20, 21 and 25, all 6 of them have TikTok. Now, they see Lucifer writing comments along the lines of, why don't you just go and get yourself a piece of, let's say, string and do the world a favour. My children are having to read this type of context. And it's okay people say, well, don't let your kids on TikTok. 3 of my children are adults that have all left home, all have their own houses. I can't stop them going on TikTok. She reached out to my child. My children are reading this type of comments against their own mother. Please bear in mind my diagnosis of bipolar and post-traumatic stress. I am an incredibly vulnerable woman. I didn't come to TikTok for any form of drama. I don't follow any drama. I have heard of EQ, I won't lie, but I haven't heard of the others. I don't follow this type of thing, and I most definitely have never been involved in any form of drama in my life. I've run a huge successful online Facebook group which has thousands of women. I have never in 14 years experienced any form of hatred from another woman. I am such a girl's girl. Everything I do is to empower other women. I have never received such hatred. I have friends spanning back to my childhood. My friends are my family. Mental health, Dan is actually my cousin. He can validate me here. I am such a, I really don't understand I do understand why I was targeted. I understand it now, but it's been a huge, huge learning curve for me. And I think what's really sad of it is it's really knocked my confidence in trust. I think listening to my backstory, which you can all follow on TikTok's account, is trusting people is incredibly difficult for me. And as a child victim of SA, I spoke about that to an abuser, and she didn't tell me she was an abuser. And that's really difficult to comprehend as
You feel
well.
like you've relived them moments again, really.
It is, you know. I've been under the secondary mental health care for many, many years. Obviously, a diagnosis of bipolar, you can understand you are kept in the secondary mental health
Yeah.
until you're pretty much manageable with your illness, medicated, etc., etc. And I've been out of it for a number of years. 4 years ago, obviously, Arlo was diagnosed with cancer. My mum had the catastrophic stroke 3 days later. I returned back into services just for some support. I was in it for about 8 months, and they kind of said, you know where we are. This is the crisis number. You're doing amazing. And then I had 3 years out of the services and, working full time, living my life. And then suddenly this happens. And I just can't believe the devastation she's brought, the trauma triggering. She's so manipulative and clever. And you guys who watch her will have no understanding of the wordings that she says, the covert abuse, the little sneaky remarks that she throws in there. Every time she says, oh, well, I'm in an extra size, extra small jumpsuit from TikTok, or I'm a size 8. And, she's done it to you, Queen Bee, but what she's doing is she knows that I suffered with 17 years with a severe eating problem. Now, I've spent the last 3 years healing, and obviously in the same week I could have lost my mother and grandson, and I am not a religious person, but I actually prayed that night, if he up there, whoever is up there, would save my mother and grandson, then I would save myself. I was 38 years old, and for 38 years I had wanted to get off the roller coaster of life. I had been in your mother's position. I had stood on a bridge when I was 8 months pregnant, holding the hand of a 3-year-old child.
That's true.
Lucifer knew this when she took me on as a client. She knew I was vulnerable. She knew my past mental health. And since revealing her identity, I didn't want to come to TikTok and do this. She did this. She tried to set up the Fact Freak on a fake allegation of an adult content that could really, really have had devastating effects to him. I am the victim of rape as a child and as an adult, and I was her main moderator. I was in her WhatsApp group when her and 3 or 4 other women were falsifying an event that the Fact Freak was sending somebody adult images. I actually, as you know, personally went to the Fact Freak and said, hey, look, I'm in this WhatsApp group. I'm this Lucifer's best friend on TikTok, and she's going to set you up for rape. And I actually sent him the voice notes. All I did was remove myself out of that WhatsApp group and block her. And the following day, my life would be turned upside down, and it has done for 5 months. And I think what's really, really sad to see is every day she's doing lives still about me 5 months later. But so many people are believing her, that she's the victim. She's actually changed her username today from Thriving Through Hate to Original Stalked on TikTok. And most of you obviously will know me as the Queen of Positivity. This is my personal account. But I actually set up a second account called Stalked on TikTok, which is where I highlight my journey of being stalked, because I just think it's so important to highlight what is happening, with these fake coaches, fake persona, which is in the headlines. This isn't TikTok drama. This is affecting my life. It's affecting my partner's life. You heard from him a little bit earlier today. Our workplaces have been contacted. Our children have been... I honestly just sometimes don't even have the words to describe how this experience has even happened. But to actually see people supporting her and saying, oh gosh, yes, that pink-haired thing, she's fat, she's ugly, I support you, Lucifer, you're incredible, what you did to that boy was 8 years ago, everybody should forgive you and move on. I do have 2 accounts as stalked on TikTok, mainly because I've received 2 strikes on it. Her and the Flying Monkeys are continuously reporting me. And at what point do you stop being afraid to speak out? You know, my whole childhood I remained silent because I was afraid to speak out about the abuse I received as a child. I then spent 11 years in a severe DV marriage. I didn't speak out, I was too afraid. You know, at what point do you stop being afraid? Well, I had to speak out because she brought it to TikTok. She began a huge smear campaign against me after the Fact Freak incident. You know, and it was kind of, I defend myself or I shut up. And I thought, well, I'm 44 years old. I teach my 6 children that if you're in danger, if you're afraid, you tell me, you speak up, you don't keep the silence, because whose silence are we really keeping? We're protecting the abuser by remaining silent, and that's all I did, begin to speak up. And the aftermath is the last 5 months of hell that has involved so many other people, and I think the guilt that I feel because so many people have been targeted because of me. What do? You know, do you delete your TikTok and just say, okay, you win? Because if I do that, how many other people are going to fall victim to her? Or do I continue speaking out and sharing my truth? What else is she going to do to me?
The one thing
I
you've
don't
got
know.
to do, Emma, is keep speaking out, because like I said before, you are an inspiration to so many people. I mean, the one thing she did do to me, yeah, I am on TikTok. Everyone can see my face. My ex-abuser is blocked on everything. But obviously, if he comes on, she had my face plastered all over her TikTok, all over her Instagram, over everything. That she'd actually took screenshots of Emma's live and plastered it all over. And my friend, well, my best friend, basically messaged her and told her to get it off. And she refused point blank to get it off. So I had to contact the police, my police lady, and tell her what was going on. I said, my face is all over Instagram, it's all over this TikTok. So yeah, so obviously the police had to get involved on that, and obviously when I got the phone call, I reported it to the police as well. I've never heard
Dan, my
anything
love,
back from them.
I was just going to say, Danny's just been sat in the comments. We'll let him
It's
have
fine.
a chat.
Do you know what? To be honest, I was going to go to bed. I was going to bed ages ago, but then I figured after Donna had said something, I figured I needed to pop back in. So I decided to join TikTok and become a little bit more obsessed. We'll say the word obsessed with TikTok. Once I obviously hopped in a couple of Emma's lives, and I was like, oh my God, I really need to be involved with this. But the biggest part of this is I have met so many amazing people. Obviously, Donna, Nikki. There's loads of people in the comments. There's Leanne, there's Dee. There's just so many. And the hardest part about this whole smear campaign is watching the deterioration of Emma. Okay, yeah. And I don't want to upset you in any way, shape, or form, but I can't get upset. But I've watched Emma for years, okay? Emma, do you know what I mean? We're family. She's known me since the day I was born. And having watched her rebuild her life from absolutely sweet call and build it all the way up to where she was, and then you get this horrible cretin who thinks it's appropriate to start speaking someone. And do you know what? She was like Emma. She is one of the most strongest human beings that I know. And you know what? I will go to Emma with absolutely everything and anything because she's my go-to person. But at the moment, I personally don't feel like I could go to Emma and say, do you know what? I need a hand with this or I need a hand with that, because of what Lucifer's doing. She's not strong enough at the moment, and do you know what? That's really hard. That is really hard from a family point of view to see how much this woman has broken my cousin, my family. And do you know what? I will do everything in my physical possible power, like, to protect my family and my friends. Sorry, I was getting a bit emotional.
It's all right. It's okay. Take your time.
Ah.
It's fine.
Yeah, and you know, like yourself, obviously you're recently involved, and you know what, you have done so much. Oh my God, I missed you lad the other morning. I went for a coffee at Emma's house, and she was like, "You really need to watch this," and I was like, "Oh my God, this woman is amazing." Like
Oh,
genuinely, I was like, "Wow." And yeah, so I'm so glad that there is somebody as big as you are to be able to help and to be able to influence and to be able to point people in the right directions that people need to be in. So yeah, we'll definitely be dropping you a DM if needs be.
Oh, thank you, lovely. And if you need any support and help, you know, with anything, just please reach out. Even if you're just having a shit day and you just need, you know, to wear off, please,
Yeah.
you know where I am anytime. And
I'm moving the house
all
on
of
Saturday. Feel free to come and give me a hand. No, I'm joking.
you. Honestly, if you all of you, if any of you need support, please just literally come and reach out to me, and I will do my best to support every single one of you as the best that I can.
Huge. Good God. It's huge. But no,
This is what Lucy though watches. Like my sons as well, by the way, let me just say this, right guys, there's no way would I ever let my sons come on your screen. They wouldn't anyway. But you know, if she tries to message my sons, can I just say she's met a match? When I say she's met a match, like, how can I put it? My youngest son is more ruthless than me sometimes. He doesn't have a filter for his mouth. And once again, he does have his own struggles, my youngest son. I'm not going to go into too much just because I don't want her. At the beginning, people who followed me are aware of my situation. But now, because of I'm listening to other people's situations and she's using kids and things like that,
Yeah.
I am not going to be mentioning about my youngest son's problems, because what I've noticed is everything we say, she's turning into her problems. And that's quite scary, that. What I have noticed as well, she's using other people's misery and heartaches as clout. To get clout, she's doing it so you can buy a book. She wants to reel you in. Once she's got you in, that is it. She's literally playing with you, you know, emotionally, mentally, and then eventually physically. And this is what she's done to Emma, to Donna, to her other victims. She is still in control because she knows, like the way they're feeling now, this is her in control. This is what she was set out to do. So now she is thriving off watching her victims suffer. And that is why her name, well, originally it was Thriving from Hate, because that is what she's doing. She's thriving from being in control of what she's doing to you. Do you understand that? And this is what I needed to put across to you guys, because I can see it and she doesn't scare me. You know, she wants to think she's some Mrs. Powerful, intelligent woman. No, she's not. You know, I've come from nothing, guys. I'll be honest with you. I didn't have no GCSEs. I had a baby at 16. But do you know what? It took me over 13 and a half years, as well with life experiences, as well as qualifications, and getting educated. And I've never give up. I have gone through my bad times in life. If anything, it's made me... I've managed to turn negative things into positive, and that's why I do what I do today. But when I see people like her getting away with things, the justice system, it makes me more angry, because as I say, I'm being my mum's voice today, I'm being many other women's voices today, and men, because as I say, just because I'm a woman, I'm not going to justify what she's done or any women's crimes that they've committed like that. It's not acceptable. If it was a man, the man would be in prison, the man would lose his home, he'd lose his family, he'd lose his career. So what makes her different? Why is she different? This is what I want to know. But once again, we know what it is. It's because she's using the big words. She just doesn't understand the meanings behind them. It is scary to think that she can manipulate services so good.
No,
And
right, well,
I think...
sorry, Emma,
Sorry,
I'm
Dan.
going to sign off, but I'm going to
All right,
say
my lovely.
goodnight, and I'm going to say thank you so much to every single person.
Thank you,
here.
lovely.
Honestly,
Night.
you are...
Night, Dan, much love.
Thank you. Good night. But honestly, as a man, it's intimidating that all these women have now come in force. It's amazing. I love it. I love it, really.
Brilliant. We'll keep watching. It's
Oh,
not going
absolutely.
anywhere.
Well, good night. God bless everyone.
Night, night. See you
God bless
soon.
you.
Bye, bye,
Take
bye.
care.
Bye. Bye.
So, guys,
And
I'm going to have to go literally in the next 5 minutes just because I've only just looked at the time now and I've got to be up double early in the morning. I've got the builders coming again. But I will be on 2 o'clock in the afternoon if you want to join me. And then tomorrow evening as well, I'll be on 9 o'clock and we can stay up a bit later because it's weekend.
Oh, well, thank
And
you
I-
very much for having us.
Oh,
Definitely.
you're welcome, Liz. And if you want, you can come and join back in tomorrow in the boxes.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. And I want to say a massive thank you to you because, you know, you've come in. As I said, you're brave enough to tell your stories. It's not nice to see you suffering the way you are. And as I say, when I seen your story, Emma, literally, it really got to me. I even shed a tear at the second
bless
video
you.
that I'd watched because to me, that is like, how's this woman in control? And when I got to know the woman, looked into her past and everything, I've seen it, I've analysed it. I know what's going on here. She's a psychopath. She just needs reminding
is.
that she's not in
And
control.
I think that's the thing. And I think what annoys me most is when she keeps saying, well, the queen of positivity keeps saying that she's afraid of me. I have never once said that I am afraid of you.
But what she's doing now, she's trying to insinuate that's how she wants you to be. That's what
She
wants.
has no hope in hell of me ever being afraid of her. What she thinks I am is a very, very vulnerable woman. And on paper, I am. What she doesn't realise is after 14 years of intense therapy, I have grown into such a strong survivor. The reason I get emotional is because of these other women and also my cousin that you've just heard of. There is no hope in hell. That creature would last within 5 seconds within my physical presence, I assure you. Physically, there is no fear or alarm or distress whatsoever. Emotionally, it hurts because I have to deal with the aftermath of people like Donna, who's in witness protection. Dan, you've just spoken to, is my cousin. This is my real life. I have to witness my children, my real life friends, my on life friends suffering at the hands of this absolute beast. It's so difficult, isn't it, to remain calm online and not say anything you're not meant to say. But I question each and every one of you as parents, or if you have children in your life, be that nieces, nephews, whatever. You don't have to be a parent to feel that love for a child. This is a convicted child SO who was sentenced, found guilty. You've heard tonight the horrific, heinous act that she inflicted upon a very vulnerable, innocent 15-year-old little boy. Not only that, but his mother. It was only last month, let's remember, that she was charged yet again with still harassing that family. That charge, that 5-year non-harassment order, as you've just heard tonight from the horse's mouth, also include minors. This woman has never changed and will never change. But thank you for allowing me onto your live tonight and hosting it for me,
Oh,
lovely.
you're welcome, my lovely.
It's incredibly emotional for me, so me hosting it probably wasn't the right thing to do. So I do honestly thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your continued support and helping me raise awareness, not just for myself, but for my partner, my children, my friends and family. Thank you.
Oh, you're so
Emma, can I
welcome.
just say I'm so sorry if I upset you. That wasn't my intention.
You will never, ever apologise. My job is to protect you, and that's what I will continue to do.
And you're all amazing. Remember that, guys. And I'll be on tomorrow. If you want to jump on with me then, please do, because we'll play some videos. You know, we'll prove to everyone the videos, the things that she's doing, because we are working. We're doing something to her now, and this is what we need to do. I've just seen, what was that comment there about everyone needs... Safeguarding is everyone's responsibility. I love it. That is true. And that's what I'm saying. If we come together as a TikTok community, as adults, as parents, you know, we can get her off this. Yeah, we can't stop what she does in life, but we can get her off here. And anything she does do in the future, the only way we're ever going to find out about it is when she's locked up and when it's in the media, not her coming on here bragging about what she's doing. You know, but just remember, girls, you are really, really strong. And Emma, please, please, just don't let her get that whole grip on you, because this is what she's in control right now. She's enjoying listening to you. And even though you told your story and you're doing it for awareness, what she'll be enjoying is, oh, she just said she's not coming on TikTok anymore. She'll be thriving off that, because it's worked. What she was set out to do has worked, and that scares me. One thing she ain't gonna do is kick us off as a team, and she's definitely not gonna make me her victim. I can promise every single one of you, I am not gonna be her victim. Do you know why? Because she's met her match with me. So in the next few weeks, guys, I'm hoping I am going to get back on a live with her. I'm going to make sure that I come out on here with her. I'm going to remain very calm, and I'm hoping she will answer the questions. This is what I'm hoping to get with her. But I just, at the minute, you know, I need to just like calm down from the last live that I had with her. That's my goal. I want to get her back on here, and let's see if she can deal with the questions. Let's see if she's going to answer everybody's questions, and believe me, I will get it to happen, because that's what I'm set out to do. Because I think now she wants to sit there, make up lies and everything. I think she should sit here and start answering everybody's questions. It's as simple as that. And if she
But you and I both know that will never happen, because anything she says is a lie. She cannot tell the truth.
And this is
So
what
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people try and get her in alive and ask her a question. Nothing will ever be the truth. Every time she opens her mouth, what we're witnessing right now is what I would call a narcissistic injury. I don't believe she's a narcissist. I believe she's part of the dark triad. I've said that from day one, and I'll continue saying it. I don't just believe she's a narcissist. And I have an intense background in the NHS. I'm not going to go any further into what my own career was. But from 5 months of sheer health in this woman, and watching her from an outside professional point of view, looking in, she shows so many dark triad, let's say, symptoms.
I'm with you on that one.
She's an incredibly dangerous woman. Physically, she's not dangerous at all. I'd flick her ear and she wouldn't last 2 goddamn minutes, Queen Bee. Don't be fooled.
Honestly,
you know, she wouldn't last 2 minutes.
That intimidates me is what she's capable of doing to people's families.
Emotionally, she's absolutely dangerous, without a doubt. She is what we call a walking red flag.
Definitely.
Without a doubt. She is. And she's incredibly good at what she does. Which is why raising awareness is so important, because you and I and the rest of the girls in the boxes have witnessed how clever she is at sucking people in. What I also find incredibly dangerous right now is she still has so much support, and a lot of these women are mothers themselves.
Yeah, that concerns me as well. Whether some of these...
I'm going to jump off because I'm getting a little bit... And I will join you tomorrow. Love you all lots.
Love you, my darling. Speak soon. Bye.
Oh, bless her. Right, guys, I'm going to get off as well. So,
Good night.
Emma, you are wonderful. I love
Thank you.
I
love you too. Thank you so much. You are incredible.
And Nick, it was lovely to speak to you this evening. Please send me a follow if you've already one, I'll give you one back. I've had so many tonight, some real. I'll give you a follow straight back, guys, as well, and you, Nick. And please come join me tomorrow, and whenever you're free, if you see me on your FYP or whatever, just come and join me.
Definitely.
Yeah, will do.
And thank you to every single one of you who has commented, who has joined tonight. Thank you so much. I have been reading your comments. Thank you. It does mean a lot.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night, guys. Good night.
Bye. Guys, thank you so much for joining in this evening and, watching and listening, because, as I say, every story that, the victims are telling, they are preventing and potentially helping others. As well, I just want to say a massive thank you for the love and support you've actually showed tonight. Do you know what I mean? I'm just so glad I've not had none of that. But he said, she said, we're not about that, guys. Definitely not. I'm here to discuss real life crimes, not TikTok crimes, where someone said this and she said that and he said that. This is real life crimes, because whatever's... Good night and God bless, Liam. Whatever's going on in real life, awareness is best defence. Definitely, my lovely. Whatever's going on in real life, we're all affected by it. So that's what we need to be focusing on. Not the, you know, pretending reality TV shows on flipping TikTok. You know, so as I say, just a massive thank you from the bottom of my heart, guys. Thank you for your support as well. I promise you, I'm going to be bringing loads. Yeah. If you haven't got my original account, please go over to it. Just type in Queen Bee 89 and you'll see 3 of my accounts come up. I have got 3 accounts, guys. Click all 3 of them. One account hasn't got many posts and it's just got 1 post. But the other 2, same profile picture. On my original first account, I've got nearly 10,000 followers, so I usually share videos of my ducklings. I hatch ducks, guys, as well, from eggs, and you know, you all share the journey with me. In fact, I've just had 2 ducklings hatched 2 weeks ago and everybody watched it on a live. And I've just put Indian duck runner eggs in the incubator today, and quail eggs are going in tomorrow. So if you're joining now, you'll get to see ducks and quails be born in the next few weeks as well, which I'll share on live. My garden's being literally now all sorted, ready for the ducks. So during the summer, I'll be spending time out in the garden. You'll all be watching my animals in the garden just flourish in the sun. And once again, you know, that is my mental health haven. That, for my therapy, I love going out in the nature, but with the ducks. I've got to have my ducks around me. I love them. And you know what? At the minute, I've got 2 ducklings inside the house. And every morning I get up, all I have to do is go, Hulk. And he comes running over to me, and you know, the love. Honestly, guys, when the duck's looking at you right in the eyes, you feel like they're reading your soul. You feel like they're actually touching your soul. Do you know what I mean? And that's why they're called therapy ducks. But I love them as well. I'm obsessed with the colours of the birds as well. So, yeah, I love it. As well, I've got 2 dogs. I've got a blue Staffy. We've got Snoop as well. He's an American. Excel and Staffy. He's a teddy bear, a big teddy bear. Right, mummy's boy when it comes to wanting snuggles. But then he's a daddy's boy when it comes to... well, handling, because trust me, I'm just 5 foot nothing and the dog is now getting bigger than me. I've got 2 kittens. Well, they're not really kittens anymore. They're 7-month-old. They're a bit half pit bull and half cats. Like literally the crazy guys. Last year I had a pet pig. So if you look on my account, you'll see my pig, Biggie. He's now on a big famous TikTok farm and he's doing amazing. He's now carrying chickens and ducks and everything on his back. Like, he's literally just an asset to this app and to that farm that he's on. And as well, we've had chickens, quails. Oh, yeah. We've had them all. We'll have all the animals. No, but literally, guys, you know, I usually come on here and have a little bit of banter and fun, as well as support a lot of families who are going through child protection plans, PLOs. If anyone doesn't know what a PLO is, it's public law outline. It's the last chance to keep your kids. So if you've gone through a child protection plan and they're not happy with, you know, what you've already done, and safeguard your child, they will up it to a PLO, which means you're under a lot more pressure. You've got to do risk assessments, parenting assessments, drugs, you know, drug testing, alcohol testing, things like that, and so on. So therefore, what will happen is, once that's done, it's either you can keep your children or you can't, depending on the outcome of your assessments. Then it will go further. And what I do within all of that is, if I feel a parent has been labelled or misjudged, or words have been used that have not been professional, and they've had the children removed for the sake of having a learning difficulty or a mental health difficulty, then I go in and I get, you know, basically an appeal back to the court so they can do an adoption, an appeal for their adoption. And as I say, guys, that's just because at the moment some people are literally being tarnished and labelled for absolutely no reason for having a condition. Do you know what I mean? But then we've got criminals that get to keep the kids after they've done that severe crime. It's a bizarre world. He thinks it's a bloody bizarre world, because I do. So, guys, I'm going to go now because I'm tired and I've got some worrisome bags under my eyes. Like, look at them. But yeah, I'm knackered, and I hope Juicy Lucy had a good watch tonight. I really do. I'm looking forward to seeing the replies that come back. I love it. I know she'll be making all the excuses. Oh, my hair. Oh, just ignore this, ignore that. And I'll be sat there going, no, they're just your insecurities. Once again, now you're just justifying your insecurities. But then she'll go on to talk about Queen Bee and Positive Queen. And it'll be, oh, did you see the pink hair? And did you see her tonight in her little suit and her black hair extensions? You've all seen my hair tonight, guys. I haven't got a weave in. I do wear weaves. I have my hair in different styles all the time. But right now she's trying to say I've got a weave in my hair. Now, do you know what that smells like? Jealousy. Because she looks like Jimmy Savile. Do you know what I mean? Baldy locks. That's what I'm going to call her. So, girls, ladies, gents, please don't take her harsh words or her bullying too serious, because how do you take someone like that serious in the first place? Do you know what I mean? Don't forget, guys, she's been on the register. If you haven't, you've got nothing to worry about. Another thing, she's dissing people for being on benefits. Lucy, listen to me, I'm going to say this a little bit loud and proud. Stop slagging people off for being on benefits when you, my friend, are on child tax credits and child benefit. And as well, how dare you call other people about being on benefits? At least these people on benefits have actually got an opportunity to go into an employment store and ask for a job. You haven't. You lost that right when you decided to commit the crime that you did. So stop reacting, bitch. Calm down. Go and get some sleep. And yeah, just go and brush your teeth as well, because I bet you stink like a brewery with all that fucking gin. It's disgusting. So guys, can you please go and give Stalked on TikTok a follow as well? She is in the comments right now. Just before I go off, please send her a follow. Our lovely Emma, give her a follow. Stalked on TikTok. Just go over there, my lovelies. But as I say, I will be on tomorrow. I'll be on every day doing bits. I mean, the days that I don't come on, I'll always let you know. But yeah, just all of you stay strong. If you're experiencing anything in your life, your situation, just please don't give up. Just keep going. And I know it's easy for me to say that, but there is people out here that do want to genuinely help, and that will get you all the support that they can. Yeah, if you do follow Stalked on TikTok as well, you will see her stalking journey on her account. And please, guys, go over, because that will literally touch your heart. And this is what we need. This is what we need. We need to touch your heart. We need to touch up here as well, your brains, so you can all just sit back and go, wow. These are the people we've got on these apps. These are the sort of people we've got in this world. So, guys, please go and give Stalked on TikTok a follow. And please go and follow her journey. Give her loads of love and support. And once again, a massive shout out to all of yous. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing your love and support to me as well. And I will come on this weekend and I'll do a part 1 storyteller for a few of years about my background and about my past, because there's only so many people on my first account that know me. A lot of people are now questioning, who am I? So that's why the last couple of days I've set up this backup account, and I've come out now to let you know I'm the woman who Lucy's come into the live and admitted, what she'd done, because that video, it has literally got to a lot of people. And when I say that, I've had thousands of messages and I just can't keep up with them. So guys, just please, thank you, Liam. Thank you, lovely. And I'll be calling you as well in the morning. You're on my diary list. So as I say, guys, I will be on tomorrow, and we will just put Lucy to one side for about 2 hours tomorrow, and we'll discuss certain things, other topics, because I do have another criminal I want to discuss and expose called Ranjit Latif. So if you please stay around. If you send me a follow tonight, guys, I'll follow you straight after the live. But I have got a lot to dish out. Everyone likes receipts. Well, here's a good saying. I've got the full till. So I don't come on here, don't shit stir, I don't do that drama creating. It's facts. It's to safeguard people. It's to safeguard children. Oh, you are so welcome, darling, and thank you for coming on this evening as well and telling everybody your journey. Please, guys, go and follow Starts on TikTok. She will she will literally answer your questions if you have got any. And as well, if you just go and watch her journey, listen to her, just listen to the passion as well that she has got in her voice, because that passion, not only has it come from the sadness she's had to endure, but now she's wanting to put something back into her community, and that is by supporting further victims. And, she's putting out her love and support to them. And now a community is coming together. So this is what I want to get on here. We're not going to have no negativity. It's all positive vibes on here, other than what we talk about, obviously the criminal side of things. But other than that, we will have some fun on here. We will have chit chats. I like a little laugh. I'm not a boring person, just so you all know that. And once again, you are all amazing, because every single one of us have all been through something. If we're all sat here today telling other people our story, we're all survivors together. So I want you to remember that. Her voice reached your soul, 100%, definitely. And tonight, guys, honestly, my heart was like, that was some of the things that was being said, because, this shouldn't be life in 2024, should it? Do you know what I'm saying? If you're talking about the coach, it can't be positive that. No, we're not going to be talking about it all the time, trust me. But the next criminal I've got coming up is Ranjit Latif, and we're going to talk about him tomorrow. So, ladies and gents, if you've got any issues with social services, child protection plans, anything like that, and at the minute you're in a sticky situation, this case is going to hit yous. This case is going to be like, oh my God. All I ask from yous is to just sit back and tune in to what I say. And then when I play the evidence and show you the evidence, and then I explain different things, that's when you lot are going, wow. And as well, I've got evidence of this man threatening vulnerable parents. If you don't pay him in his GoFundMe account, he will then ring social services on you. His son's part of a grooming gang, and he's also got an ASBOB for harassing women outside the places of work, social services, but yet he claims he was in a DV relationship for 17 years with his wife. And she was a perpetrator. So, narcissist to narcissist. And, well, to be honest, he helped the sort of parents like Lucy. So, this is what I'm going to show you tomorrow. I look forward to sharing that with you guys. And yeah, I'm going to say it for the last time now. Good night and God bless. Sending you loads of love, and I look forward to tomorrow. I'll be on 2 o'clock, and then tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock. Good night and God bless, my darlings, and I'll see you all tomorrow.